Hey, this is Les from the TV Dudes. As part of our coverage of ATX Television Festival Season 8, I was lucky enough to chat with costume designer JR Hawbaker about her work on The Terror Infamy, as well as Man in the High Castle. We chat about how wardrobe provides narrative information, the special concerns she had when costuming the Terror, and more. Hope you enjoy.
So I'm Les from the TV Dudes.
Oh, cool.
And I'm here with JR Hawbaker. Did I say your last name right?
Yes, you did.
You mispronounced George's name, so we're hopefully not going to screw up every one of them.
You did great.
Okay. And so you were the costume designer on...
Yes, I was the costume designer on the first... I have a co-costume designer, Tish Monahan, who's incredible, amazing, talented.
Or is that just...
No, neither her nor I were actually on the first season of Terror. So I came in, I do Strange Angel for Scott Free too, so they shoot at the same time. So I came in and helped get everybody on their feet, develop concept, develop look, and did the costume design on a lot of the kimono elements. And then Tish came on and she did the full high octane 10 episodes, and she killed it.
So you had also done Man in the High Castle.
Yes, second season.
I imagine it was similar but vastly different to
Yes.
from a same culture, but obviously that's a future past fantasy
Yeah, an
kind of
alternate
setup,
universe.
alternate universe, versus this being a period piece and also a horror. Were there particular concerns? Were there things you got to draw from one job to the other?
Yeah.
And things you were like, well, we can't do that. That's not real.
Yeah, it was really, it's interesting. I have always had a love of history and also actually the kimono, the language of kimono, even before I did Man in the High Castle. So when I did Man in the High Castle, I learned a lot and fully immersed myself in it. So that was great to draw on because I had already done so many years of learning. And it's a deep, deep, deep culture that you're constantly learning from and drawing on. It goes back hundreds and hundreds of years. So it was great to draw on that, but it was also vastly different. You know, that was an alternate universe, and this one we were really trying to do justice to the history of what people went through at the time. But at the same time, you're talking about telling a story. Both of them tell stories, and I think that we were trying to not only tell the realism that was happening in the internment camps, but also the emotional context of what that is. And that you kind of, you had to, we used storytelling techniques and we used things like color palette and texture and to heighten moments when we wanted to heighten them and to add, horror elements to the series. So, I remember doing, for the kimono, actually, we did a lot. We had to manufacture it because it's a horror show. So, there's a lot of things that has to happen to the clothes. So we ended up doing a lot of the original traditional elements, like the Yuzen resist dyeing, and also we ordered the chinimen fabric from Kyoto, and I worked with geisha house in Kyoto, and we did a lot of the original techniques. But what we ended up bringing over to the Terror is also that horror component to it. I think that sets it really different from Man in the High Castle.
For you as a costume designer, what concessions did you make towards horror, or how does that affect your job?
Yeah, I was talking to, John and I were just talking about that. The one that I can think of that I just remembered, actually, while I was talking to John Convoy, our amazing DP, is we did all these color tests in the beginning, but where that came from was I was really wanting to, the original Ghost kimono we had talked about being white and red, kind of a traditional snow woman Japanese storyline. I was like, that's great, and Geisha did it beautifully, and wonderful on them, but we're the Terror. Let's do something a little more, let's do something for us. And what I ended up doing was I started getting these flashes of different genre within different frames within the genre, like Vertigo, even like Suspiria from '77, and I remember like an Argento film like Profondo Rosso, and even Suicide Club, which Alex Wu had brought up as one of the references. There's this acidic kind of gray-green, like a pucey kind of grayish has a deep acidity to the color, green that has a ghoulish quality to it. And I was like, well, let's infuse that horror genre palette, kind of play in the sandbox of that genre, but infuse it with the tradition of kimono. And instead of it being a white and red one, we're going to make ours this kind of acidic, horror-filled, elemental color. And it worked great, but it was a concept that came out of conversations with John and Jonathan, the production designer, and Alex, and our director Joseph for the first 2 episodes, and we just all kind of got on board. We're like, yes, let's do that. Let's bring the horror to the kimono. So yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
Yeah, John had mentioned oversaturating the colors so that you could pull back to get the period look, but not have it all just be blah.
Yeah, he came in really great with a really strong vision of the color in the show, and that was a great guiding light because we wanted to sort of create compositions together. And it took John and Jonathan and myself and Tish all teeing up next to each other so that we really could create a composition that created a powerful image, that because that to me is a little bit of the genre too. It's like creating imagery that kind of makes you shudder inside a little bit, and what is it about an image when you construct it that has potency, that makes kind of for whatever reason gives you the shivers inside, and to do that it took all of us working together, and more so than a lot of other projects. Like I really feel like it was a very surgical effort on all of our parts to create the respect toward the history, but then also create this evocative, emotional context for what these people went through that was horrifying, and then infuse it into the visuals that would help our audience get to that headspace.
So getting into costume design, did you always know you wanted to move into television or film, or did you originally want to do stage costume?
I started in theater, actually. So I went to a theater conservatory called the Theater School in Chicago, and those are my roots. And they're, I always thank them because it was just amazing training. And then I don't think I have a genre. I don't have a medium, TV versus film. I just love good storytelling and the things that make me want to try and convey human connection. And so as far as the medium is concerned, I don't really choose. I have done film, I have done TV. I actually find TV to be incredibly interesting right now. They're really daring in their storytelling. And the ability to have several seasons to tease something out and to get a little bit deeper into human, the way human beings think and evolve over time is really interesting in television.
The shooting schedule for this show is really fast.
Relentless.
Was that a particular challenge for you as a costume designer?
Yes. I think what do we have on this one? I'm repressing it. I think it was 8 days shoot. Yeah, I'm repressing it. I actually was not there for the majority of the shooting, so I have got to give that up to Tish because she did an amazing job keeping up with a high octane schedule. But an 8-day schedule definitely proves it creates a lot of challenges. I mean, just to name, just out of the gate, we're taking like a kimono, which takes, it's a piece of walking art, and it takes hundreds and hundreds of hours to finish a kimono, and they're all hand done and hand painted and hand embroidered, and so to be able to take that concept and try and do it respect and due diligence for the tradition of what kimono is, but then we also have to deal with the reality of an 8-day television schedule. So that was a challenge. that was a big challenge, and we did end up we tried. There's one that Kiki wears as Yuko, and there's one that Masayo has we tried to stay as close to the real tradition as possible. And I had incredible craftsmen and Cutter Rosalie and and Sharon, who is a textile artist, they came in and they did the traditional hand-done work. They did the yuzen, rice resist dyeing, and they did. We actually developed a fabric for Kiki's kind of greenish, ghoulish fabric for her. We did order the Chidamen original fabric from Kyoto, and we used that on Masayo. But for Kiki's one, we kind of wanted it to feel a little bit like wrinkled skin too. So we used a technique for a summer kimono that is a little more sheer, and we developed that. So that was all done in prep. And then as far as like attacking the schedule is concerned, it was a little bit like art and life mashed up, because the terror is a lot about the old world and the new world meeting in the middle and finding Nisei, Issei. So, and that is completely embodied in how we attack the builds on the kimonos, because we definitely tried to stay true to the traditions as much as possible. And there's one on Yuko and one on Masayo that, are all hand done. But then we ended up using sublimation, which is a modern printing technique, and we did different things to try and be able to keep up the schedule and create multiples, because it is a horror story. So stuff has to happen. And this beautiful, kimono that takes hundreds of hours to do, eventually it's got to get a little bit bloody. So you gotta, and that's the beauty of the terror, though. It finds a way to mash up these things that are, precious and horrifying all at the same time. And so the kimono actually does embody a lot of the motifs that the terror has in it. We ended up mashing up a lot of techniques, modern and traditional, to get it done.
That's so cool. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me about it.
Absolutely.
The TV Dudes is an independently run podcast and a member of the Electric Sweater Podcast Network. We are exclusively listener supported. If you'd like to help us out, go to patreon.com/tvdudes. You can like us on Facebook and Twitter @TVDudes. All the music for our show is by our friend and original TV dude, Gregory J. Amani Smith. To find out more about us, go to thetvdudes.com and electricsweater.com. I'm Grant Davis. Thanks for listening.